Hello everybody, it's Julia here from the Highly Sensitive Tarot, and I'm back today to do a tarot reading. This is for the collective. This is a Halloween tarot spread, and I found this spread when I was just sort of looking around on Google for bits and pieces, and I found this spread on a site called Interrobang Tarot website, and the spread was created by somebody called Evvie Marin, and I shall link her and her website in the description box so that you can have a look at this spread for yourself if it's something that you want to have a go at. But I'm going to read this as if it's for the collective, not as if it's for myself. So it's an 8-question spread, and I'm going to use, let's put my boo back. I'm going to use the Everyday Witch deck. Yeah, so I'm going to use the Everyday Witch deck, which I don't use very often, but it's a very cute deck. I edged mine in this beautiful blue to match the sides. So for the collective, we have 8 questions. I think I'll shuffle and lay the 8 cards down, and then I'll go through them one by one with the questions. Okay. So, oops, they're upside down, of course. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's push these up a little bit. There we go, that's a bit better, isn't it? And then we've got the bottom of the deck as well. The Hierophant again. Do you know, that card keeps appearing. So, question number 1. This is the trick. Where to shake myself up. And I've picked out the 4 of Pentacles, which sees this young witch sitting on all the pentacles. So this is a card of, well, it could be greed, couldn't it? Being materialistic or being too rigid about things. So where to shake yourself up is that maybe you've been penny pinching just a little bit too much. I mean, I know that that's a very flippant thing to say in this day and age when the cost of everything is just skyrocketing. You know, food, everything costs such a lot of money, and sometimes it's very necessary to sort of be careful, be very boundaried with your spending. But I think really this card is encouraging you that wherever you can, to just try and not be quite so rigid and not be quite so boundaried, not be quite so protective. And like I said, I know that that's a very easy thing for me to say in this day and age, but that's what the card is encouraging, I think, isn't it? You know, he's sitting on top of his pentacles there as if to say they're mine. I'm keeping them. Nobody else is coming near. They're all mine. And perhaps it would be helpful, or it would do you good just to like be a little bit more flexible about that. I always believe, actually, that the universe brings you what you need. Not always what you want, but I believe that it brings you what you need. So sometimes it's important to just splash out a little bit, treat yourself. You know, this is a trick or treat reading, so treat yourself. And that brings us on actually to card number 2, which is the treat, where to treat yourself. And I've pulled the Two of Wands, which is interesting, isn't it? So the Two of Wands is a card of sort of planning and choosing to act, sort of what your next steps are, what you're going forwards with. You know, and we can see here this witch here is looking at his globe, and he's got his wand, and he's looking out to the future. He's planning, he's seeing what his next step is. So where to treat yourself might be a little trip away, to put some kind of plan in action, to make some plans for yourself. This is generally good news, I think, actually, the Two of Wands. It's usually a very positive thing, this kind of looking to the future, planning what's next. Maybe that will help to get you out of this little rut here, really, because I think the Four of Pentacles is the trick, isn't it? Is where to shake yourself up. And it's like being in a little bit of a rut, really, of feeling kind of stuck and protective, and feeling like things have to be a certain way. You know, maybe it's time to open the door and go out onto the top of the castle like he is and have a look around and see what's next. So card number 3 is something precious. Wow. So this is a source of strength and an ability that you can tap into. And I chose the Six of Cups, or the Six of Cups presented itself, which is lovely, isn't it? Because there's not much more precious in this deck than the Six of Cups, really. You know, this is childhood and memories and your background, your history. It's sweet and sentimental. So perhaps this is encouraging you to look for those places in your life where you did feel those things, and to look to those people that helped you to feel those things. You know, the energy difference between the Four of Pentacles and the Six of Cups is just huge, isn't it? This is closed, and this is open and giving and sharing, and it's sentimental, isn't it? It's a beautiful energy. So if this is something precious, a source of strength, I think it's encouraging you to look to your family, your friends, maybe to look to things from the past, things that you used to do that made you happy. See whether you can get back into those things. Like, I remember a few years ago when I was having a tough time, and I was encouraged to look back to things that I did as a child that made me happy, and it was colouring books. And actually they really bring a great deal of peace of mind to me, as well as very much flowers and the garden and the cat and just all of those sort of things, really. So yeah, this is something precious. This is something to encourage you to tap into. So card number 4 is something powerful, which is the moon here. And this is, it says in the instructions for this, something powerful, something sweet and wonderful to be present for. And the moon has presented itself, which is obviously a card of the subconscious and the imagination. It's a card of being reflective and being aware that sometimes things are not always what you think that they are. Like for this cat here, he's not as big as he thinks that he is he? So something sweet and wonderful to be present for. Well, perhaps it's your imagination, you know, perhaps it's the freedom that your imagination gives you. And just the gorgeousness often of being able to sit and reflect and allow your subconscious to come to the fore, to dream, you know. Perhaps this card is encouraging you to go out and sit and spend some time looking at the moon, or to journal about the moon, or to find a little ritual or spell based around the moon. That's always a really nice thing to do. Quite often with the full moon, I put a jar of water out in the light of the moon and I set some intentions. So yeah, perhaps that's what's being encouraged here, with something sweet and wonderful to be present for. So card number 5 is card number 5 is something funny or where to lighten up. And the Temperance card has appeared here. So Temperance is a card of balance and harmony and equilibrium. You know, we can see here that she's balanced on one leg. She's got one eye closed. I think this card is funny in itself. I love her stripy tights. So if this card is encouraging you to lighten up, somewhere to lighten up in your life, perhaps it would be to do some exercise, to do some balance exercises, to look for places in your life that need balancing and do it, you know, and do it with an open heart, and do it in a way to free yourself from some of this more stagnant and stuck, difficult kind of energy that we had earlier on in the reading. That's a really cute card. Card number 6 is something unsettling, somewhere to stretch out of your comfort zone. And we have the Sun card here. So again, I'm getting that feeling that just recently there may have been a lot of fear around, fear of the future, fear of coping, fear of having enough. And so this card number 6, something unsettling, where to stretch out of your comfort zone. I think this is encouraging you to find things in your life that make you happy, that bring that sort of vitality back to your life. And perhaps, like I said, you can do that through some form of exercise, looking back to the past, looking for things that do make you happy, doing a bit of journaling around the moon, doing some rituals around the moon, actively planning and thinking about the future, but actually allowing yourself to feel some of your inner vitality. And if you're not feeling that vitality, which we don't always, sometimes we can be run down or feeling poorly or just stuck. If we're not feeling that, is to look for ways to bring that heat and that warmth back into our lives, whatever that means to you. You know, the Sun is a card of the self. And it's interesting, we've also got the Moon here, which is a card of your subconscious, isn't it? But the Sun card is yourself, your outer vitality, your self-confidence. It can be a card of celebration, so maybe it's time to get together with some friends, you know. So card number 7 is a remembrance. This is something from the past, to honour or to reflect upon. And I've pulled the Eight of Pentacles here, which is a card of sort of honing your skills and focus, being dedicated to something, putting a lot of attention into something to achieve something. So perhaps this is saying that in the past you were very skilled and you put a lot of effort into doing something, and perhaps you've lost sight of that in some way. So perhaps it's time to bring that back, whatever this is that you are skilled at. I mean, this witch here is skilled at potion making. But whatever it is that you've studied or invested in, or just worked really, really hard at in the past, something you were very dedicated to, perhaps it's time to bring that back. And card number 8 is a thrill, something scary but rewarding to try. And we've got the Three of Wands here, which is nice, following from the Two of Wands. So the Three of Wands is a card of growth, isn't it? Self-assurance, finding some balance, expanding your life, expanding outwards. You know, this person, we've moved from the top of the castle here, looking out and planning and thinking, to actually moving forwards. You know, there is a kind of directed will here, isn't there? There's an energy being directed outwards, something expansive. So I don't know what that would mean to you, but this is saying a thrill, something scary but rewarding to try. I'm trying to think if there would be something scary but rewarding to try for me. I don't know. So many things are scary. I'm such an introvert and such a homebody that this Three of Wands energy for me is quite scary, really. So whatever that means to you, I just think generally here in this whole reading, you're being encouraged to get out of this kind of stuck, rigid energy and to find things in your life that bring you pleasure and are rewarding. Yeah. So, and the card at the bottom of the deck, as I said, was the Hierophant here. And in this we've got a yoga teacher, haven't we? But perhaps that's the message of this entire reading, really, is that it would be good for you to find somebody or something in life that you can learn from, that's wise and can offer you maybe even practical skills, things that help bring your mind and body back into balance, things that are healthy for you. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. That was just a little reading. It was supposed to be fun. I don't know whether it was fun. I always seem to be quite serious in my readings. But as I said, if you want to have a look at this spread, I will link it in the description box. I think this was really positive, actually. There's lots of really nice energy in this reading. So I do hope that you enjoyed it. And I'm sending you all my love. Please do say hello in the comments. It's lovely to hear from you. Let me know if any of this resonated for you. And yeah, I'll see you all again soon. Thank you.